Hey everybody, how's it going? Sean here with Some Dude in Texas, and welcome back. And if you're new to the channel, hey, thanks for stopping by. Man, on this update, got some death metal on vinyl. Got a few classics, and I got some new stuff I want to share with you. Man, I don't know about where y'all are at, but man, here in Texas, it is hot, man. It is hotter than the devil's butt crack down here, man. It's been like over 100 easy for the past couple of weeks, and I think it was 106 today, man. So if you're down south or in some of those states where it's hot, man, make sure y'all are staying cool. So, hey, let's go ahead and get started, man. First off, I'm going to start off with give a little Texas love, give a little love to a Texas band here. And it is Frozen Souls out of Dallas. I'm kind of late getting to these guys, but man, I really like what I'm hearing. I mean, this is their new one that just came out, I think, back in May, called Glacial Domination. Pretty cool. Like the artwork. Got some cool detail to it. These guys, man, if you haven't heard them, they just definitely got that old school death metal influence. Kind of mid-tempo. One thing that I do like about this album, this one compared to the last one, it seems like the vocals are brought up a little bit more in the mix. You can kind of hear it a little bit better. On the last album, it kind of blended a little much. I mean, it could be just me. I'm old, not hearing too good. But this one seems like they kind of brought it up in the mix. It's a little clearer, sounds a little bit better, with the music. But this killer album so far. I mean, everything that I've heard on it. I'll be honest with you, just got it today. Hadn't had a chance to completely listen to it, but the first half, man, is killer, and just good heavy kind of mid-tempo, old-school death metal. It's got some chugs to it. And then, like I said, the vocals are brought up a little bit more compared to the last one. Sounds real good. Drumming's cool. Man, I like it, man. Like I said, share a little love for a Texas band out of Dallas. So if you haven't heard it, check it out. If you haven't picked it up, go get it. So the new Frozen Soul, Glacial Domination. All right, next one's going to be a classic. Sure most of you already have it. Like I said, I'm kind of getting late start on getting some of these old classic death metal albums, but I'm glad they're reissuing them. But this one, everybody knows it. Left Hand Path, Entombed. I mean, what is there new to say that hasn't already been said about this one? It's classic, just that good Swedish death metal with that HM2 guitar tone, that buzzsaw, chainsaw, whatever you want to call it, guitar tone. And I tell you, man, like I said, I'm glad they're starting to reissue these albums. I mean, I picked this up for like $21, and it's on earache, nothing fancy, just black vinyl. The insert. But I'm glad they're reissuing all of these. I mean, to get an original of this on vinyl, I mean, it's probably cost you an arm and a leg. And, like I said, they're making it affordable. It's just $21. Sounds great. I don't hear any, difference. And just a great album. If you've been living on the rock like I have on some of this stuff and you're just late to getting it, man, make sure you pick this one up. All right, the next one. This one just came in today, man. I was excited about this, and I've been looking for this one. My local shop had it, but it just wasn't a little too much, man. It's pretty high of it, so I was able to grab this off of Amazon for a pretty good deal. But anyway, Cancer, Death Shall Rise. Now, I remember when I got this album back in, it was probably late 92, because this came out in 91. A lot of my friends didn't like it. They thought, it's not that heavy, but they were into the technical stuff, suffocation, stuff like that. So this was a lot different. But, I was just going through the record store, saw it. I actually bought it on tape. I wish I still had it. But, I saw that James Murphy was on it. So I figured, hey, it had to be pretty good. And it is. I like it. It's kind of that mid-tempo along the lines of kind of, obituary style. Just good old school, mid-tempo death metal. I dig it. Now, I went to go see these guys. I want to say it was either late 92. Yeah, it was probably late summer of 92. They were on tour, I think, for this album here. And it was up in Dallas, or DFW area. And we went to go see them. Is at this old club. If you're from that area, you're definitely familiar with Joe's Garage. They always, Pantera played there, of course, but also they would bring a lot of heavier stuff, thrash metal, death metal there. But they were supposed to play. We went to go see them, and remember getting there, and it was just dead. It was a Friday or Saturday night. It was just like hardly anybody there. Well, come to find out, they had canceled. They had equipment issues, car issues, vehicle issues, something like that, and so they canceled. And unfortunately, back then, word of mouth was about the only way you heard. They didn't have the internet to, pop up and say a show was canceled. So I was kind of disappointed, man, that I didn't get to see him on this tour. That would have been awesome, especially with James Murphy. But anyway, if you haven't heard this one, or if you don't got this, you pick it up. I think I got it on Amazon, and it was pretty reasonable. I think it was under $30. I think like $28. So classic, good one. Cancer, Death Shall Rise. All right, now this last one. When I first started these videos, I told you, Death by Human, that was the album that got me into death metal. Well, this is the one that got me hooked and really got me into it. And I mean, this was like one of my, holy grails, if you want to call it. And came across a local shop, guy I've never been to. He popped up on my Instagram feed, and he had a video, and he was doing a flip through all these albums, and this one popped up, and I couldn't believe it. It's a reissue, but I went over and got it, and it's a death metal classic, Malevolent Creations, Retribution. I remember the first time I heard this, man. Brett Hoffman, just those vocals. That's what always stood out to me, and of course, the guitar just sounded great. Everything was awesome, but Brett just had a different way. His vocals were a little different. He'd do that. He'd go real high, and he'd chop it off with a real low grunt. And first time I heard that, it just blew me away. And that's what really stood out. It's too bad. He passed away. He was back with Malevolent Creation, and they were putting out some pretty good stuff. But this is my favorite, Malevolent Creation album, Retribution. It's just a classic. Every song on here is awesome. And like I said, when it came across my Instagram feed, I had to go get it. So it's a reissue. It is pretty cool. It's got the splatter on it. Kind of clear with black and blue. And this is one, I just remember back in the day, man, it was on, once they rotation, I think I bought it on cassette, man. I was playing this all the time. It's good stuff. Let's see, I think it's got the, yeah. Got that insert in there. Picture of the guys. So this was the one though that really got me hooked. After this, it was on. I was getting all kinds of death metal stuff. Well, if you haven't heard this one, or if you haven't heard this one in a while, Malevolent Creation, Retribution, check it out, man. Like I said, if it's never heard it, you won't be disappointed. It's definitely worth going back and checking out again. All right, well, that wraps it up for this collection update. Hey, I appreciate y'all watching. Hey, while I was gone, I was still buying stuff, still getting stuff sent to me. So I got some cool stuff to show y'all, man. I've got some tapes back there. I've got some CDs. Also got some cool, old school thrash metal on vinyl to show y'all as well. So be sure, you come back, check it out. But once again, man, I appreciate y'all watching. And until next time, y'all take care. Y'all come back now. You hear?